Hello there, my name is Rachel. The first time seeing my channel, usually review cartoon series, anime series, or something completely random. And today we talk about Pacific Rim The Black, the anime series. And this is amazing. It's one of those shows I like to call big watchable. When you start watching, you can't stop because the show is that gripping. Of course, it has one major flaw, could ruin it, but I assure you it doesn't. But I get to there. Anyway, Pacific Rim the Black is all star with two main characters called Taylor and Haley, the two orphan kids who survived a kaiju attack, now have to live outside of Australia in the outback. But they're waiting for their parents to come back because they promised to come back with help. But unfortunately, they actually left and never came back for several years. And you see Taylor and Haley sort of wondering, should we leave, should we not? Especially you live with a group of other children who grew up over just this small little camp, you could say, this little hidden camp with all the water and resources they need to survive. But that's sort of question that should we or should we not leave this camp? Because it's a lot of questions that they don't know what to do, and you see the contrast of the both main characters' personality. Like Taylor is the older brother who trying to be responsible and listen to his parents. Like no, they will come back. He was sort of scared to getting out, but Haley is the opposite. She is very optimistic. Like no, when we stay here, there's no point. They leave and explore, and maybe we find help ourselves and may chance see our own parents. And that's sort of conflicting. You see that's both right and both wrong because you really don't know what to do. And I think that's sort of fascinating because either or they're both screwed because you still have them and the rest of the kids who survived this kaiju attack just waiting for something because you don't know they can live the next day or not, or the kaiju will find them, or anything can happen. But you see the argument is truly interesting. Of course, this is the part I told you this could piss you off if you see the first episode. Haley, one of our main characters, should be hopeful and did it herself and walk away. But the only problem is her action caused a death of the whole camp. Everybody died because of her. Everything happens is because of her. And this is what I mean. She's basically the one who could ruin the series, but I assure you she doesn't. How to describe it is she's sort of a kind of Lois Lane type of character that is done right. It could be a very fascinating, interesting character, or done wrong, she become a very useful, burning character in the story. And luckily, you have great writers because Haley is interesting because she feels the effect, the sadness, the all her decisions did to make them get out of this sort of safety area, and you feel for her. Of course, it took a little while because it was sort of frustrating watching her constantly doing stupid mistakes, and her big brother Taylor trying to help her and fix all the mistakes. But at the very end, nothing really matters because both main characters lost everything except this sort of Jaeger that accidentally found and activated. Now they're them in the outback and the Jaeger figuring out what to do next to find their parents or see anyone to talk to or do something with their lives because they're trying to figure out what to do. Especially you don't know what's the next kaiju about to attack. And I found that fascinating because you see them meeting other people like Mad Max. In fact, this all anime feels like Mad Max, but in an anime form with kaiju and giant robots because Haley and Taylor doesn't really know who to trust or not, especially how well protected is so many years, so they don't know what is the strength of many people. They don't know if they actually can trust anyone anymore. And that is also fascinating because you'll see the effect of the people who live through it while in safety. For example, you also have a character called The Boy, who really no one knows what he is because Taylor and Haley kind of find him in a lab in a tank, and they don't know why he's living in a tank. Nobody know how he survived. He just dead. And on top of this guy doesn't really talk. He's sort of a mute. He's sort of like a simple child. Of course, it is a child, but it's interesting because you find out later he has this huge secret what he really is. But I'm trying not to ruin it because this series does kind of surprised you a few times because I was not expecting expecting because I've seen a lot of different anime and different cartoons, so I really know what to expect any type of show. And this one kind of surprised me constantly. I think this is the reason why I love this show because I kind of couldn't predict what's gonna happen next because some of the surprises really shocked me and threw me off the loop. So yeah, that's why I really enjoy it because I cannot predict it. You also have this main villain in the series called Shane that he is a very good villain because the first few minutes he thinks he's a guy who can help people, maybe he wants to help people, but very end you figure out, yeah, no, this guy into himself because he wants to survive and actually grow his power because he's trying to find kind of Jaeger parts to create his own Jaeger to get complete control on the outback. But you also have the two main characters knowing what he wants to do with the Jaeger and they don't want to help him and they sort of stuck. And you heard this sort of scenario that you don't know who's gonna live or who's gonna die because you really don't know what's gonna happen because the relationship of this show is complicated because he has another character called Meg who wants to survive this scenario into, but at the end she had to sort of compromise between the heroes and villains because she's the one who can actually help people, but at the same time she doesn't want to because she had to protect her father, but she doesn't want to protect her father because she's lied to him. And you have this sort of weird relationship of everyone like, should I change my lines now or later? Should I stick to it? And that sort of untrust and not knowing just grabs you because you don't know what May would do next because she is probably the most complicated character of this whole series and you feel kind of fascinating and very pity about this character because she is completely lost like the rest, but she is in between everything. So yeah, you can see what I mean. This show, if you've seen it, is very complicated, but very simplistic. Just the relationships, it just grabs you. But besides that, all the kaiju battles is great. The animation in 2D and CG works super well, and everything just clicks. I mean, I can't really say anything negative. You just sort of ended with a cliffhanger. But besides that, I just enjoy it. I highly recommend it. I got really nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.